Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is Mr. Maxwell, and welcome back to another side quest about video games with myself and Exilemagpie.
Hello.
It's been a good week for video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, certain video games.
The same video games. Not other ones.
Not other ones.
I'm not gonna lie. I very quickly forgot about Concord.
To be honest, it was very forgetful.
Yeah.
We will go on about that in a second. But we're going to go with
something that I was meant to talk about last week, and I forgot. Maybe because this was a game. Well, I did actually used to follow this when they were doing developer updates and all that sort of stuff, but it took longer and longer and longer. And they kept saying, "Oh, it's coming out," and then they kept delaying it, and it got to the point where you just sort of looked at it and you went, "This is not going to come out over here." It was already out in Japan,
yes.
So I just thought, "It's just not going to come out over here. It'll be fine." But no, Blue Protocol is getting completely shut down. If you don't know what Blue Protocol is, it was going to be Bandai Namco and Amazon's like big MMO.
Yes, and the very fact that you said the word Amazon seems to...
Well, in Japan, it was just Bandai Namco.
Yeah, exactly.
Over in the West, Amazon were going to be like publishing it.
So the question becomes, what if they could get it out the door by just having Bandai Namco? What?
It was pretty much like beta release in Japan.
Yeah. So it didn't go well in Japan either.
Well, no, apparently it went quite well. It was just, by the sounds of it, they just couldn't get anything done. Couldn't do anything. So Blue Protocol is a Bandai Namco developed anime MMO which released in Japan last year and was meant to arrive in the West at some point this year, courtesy of Amazon. Alas, that is no longer the case, and the game is also shutting down in Japan early next year. Bandai Namco Online announced that they have made the difficult decision to end service on Blue Protocol. They will shut down their Japanese servers in January 2025 and have ended plans to release the game in the West in collaboration with Amazon Games. Blue Protocol seem to be following closely in the footsteps of Genshin Impact with a world of blue skies, green grass and Breath of the Wild style enemies to bash through in an action RPG combat. So if you saw any of the developer updates that they did do for this, because there was a YouTube channel for it was very anime style. Basically, they took Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
They didn't have everything that was in Breath of the Wild. So, like, you could look at it and not really tell that it was inspired by Breath of the Wild, right? They basically took that and they basically tried to turn it into a big anime MMO.
It's like basically Genshin, but instead of gacha and MMO.
Yeah, basically. You made your own character, and you had a bunch of other characters, and all this stuff, and it just hasn't worked apparently. I don't know why.
Well, considering the clearly the warning signs were there, considering they were delaying some more.
The thing is, they haven't even stated why they're shutting it down. That's the weird thing. Yeah, that's
the thing. Clearly, unless it clearly didn't reach the numbers they wanted in Japan, and they couldn't guarantee the numbers to be made up in like the West. But then the question is, well, how high were the numbers were you expecting? If it seemed to have done okay when it was launched in Japan, but yeah, without the actual like details, it's just a question of like, well, what went wrong?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to close that window.
It's getting really
since
windy.
The wind has decided to
upset me.
Yeah, right.
We'll just boil. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It is. This is a shame because this was one of the games I was looking forward to.
It was
because I'm pretty sure they said it was going to be a free MMO. So obviously it probably, and it's Bandai Namco, so it wouldn't surprise me. But it was probably going to be monetization. It was just more of like, how is the monetization going to work?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance that like maybe nobody was buying stuff from the shop?
Possibly. And if that's the case, then obviously they weren't making the money to keep the servers open. I suppose that's true, but again, usually they would take that into account with the if the user base is big enough, they will get people buying stuff from the shop.
Yeah.
So again, it's like without any details, we're just like
the thing is, if you've planned,
guessing in the dark.
If you've planned yourself to release your game worldwide, your big free MMO.
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting in efforts.
Yeah.
And doing maths that involve that, and then you don't release it worldwide. That's a lot of money.
Yes, that is a lot of money. I wonder if Amazon were charging them for the servers. You know how like Amazon charges Twitch for the servers? You know, Twitch.
Their own company.
The company that they own, they charge them for the servers.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. It is a shame. I was generally just... Even if I was just going to get like a taste of the game, I was hoping it would get some sort of release over here.
Yeah, but unfortunately that's not going to happen now.
But anyway, what can you do? It sucks.
It does. Especially for the people that worked on it. Because, you put all that time and effort for some big wig up top who has no fucking clue about how anything works, goes, this isn't making me enough money, close it down.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so shall we move on? Speaking of shutting down out of nowhere, Concord is getting pulled. It
is no more.
It's not even getting onto the PlayStation Plus.
Nope.
It's not even going free and trying to scale something that way. Nope. It's just getting straight up pulled, and Sony are offering.
That's because they had less
full refunds.
Their max user base.
Yeah.
Was less than.
I'm pretty sure max was like.
Their max user base is like something like 30,000 worldwide. Now, part of this problem is, again, Sony are for some reason fixated on this whole you have to have a PlayStation Network account even if you're playing on PC, which is the dumbest idea they've ever come across. And believe me, they've had some dumb ones. The banana controller, anyone? But I'm not surprised and yet surprised, because I'm like, they didn't even give it a chance. But then again, there was nothing, like we said last week. There wasn't anything to catch you. There wasn't.
Yeah.
And actually, there is a very good point that was made by other people that not even going off the characteristics of the character. If you took those characters and put them in a silhouette, would you be able to identify them? And the answer is no.
No.
And that's the thing. It's a hero shooter with very bland characters that feel like they're background characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and it's like it's the cardinal sin of a hero shooter, making your heroes feel boring or unimpactful, or even like they don't stand out.
Or if they do stand out, they stand out for the wrong reasons.
Do you know what? I don't think they even stood out for the wrong reason. They just didn't stand out.
No.
Like,
you can get standing out for like awful character design.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's what I mean. Like the mushroom people.
Yes,
in that game. That's just awful character design.
Yes, but the thing is, again though, like my point being is like it's not like horrific, because then it would be rememberable.
Yeah,
you look at it and go like, I still remember the mushroom character from Battleborn.
Yeah.
I remember. You show me a picture of him and I'll go, yeah, he's from Battleborn, because it's a unique and very well interesting design. And this is, and I'm like, you've had like multiple generations of consoles have done this. Like I've been playing Time Splitters 2, and the characters on them are so well done.
Yep.
And even then, you've got multiple zombies.
A T-Rex.
A dancing T-Rex. It's amazing. I need to unlock him. but they're all instantly SSX as well. Like any character, and we said like beat 'em up characters. Their designs are eye catching, but again, like I said before, if you put them in a silhouette, 99% of people will instantly recognize those characters just by their silhouette. Like Cammy, Ryu, Ken, Bison, Shao Kahn, Heihachi, Kazuya, Yotomitsu, Paul Phoenix. Yotomitsu is quite impressive considering the fact that he has a complete redesign every freaking iteration.
Yeah. Although actually Yotomitsu, you can always be like, which one's the one that is way over the top on aesthetics?
Yotomitsu.
That's Yotomitsu.
Yeah. Which one looks like an alien? And again, like we said, the gameplay was not eye-catching. The environments weren't really. They were weird, but
the whole thing was bland. It's just bland.
And for that, it suffers the fact that it will now be closed down, and the fact that this game took 8 years is another thing.
A lot of money.
It took a lot of money in 8 years, but there's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's the problem with, and this is all publishers and senior executives, because I guarantee you the people at the bottom do not have an absolute chance of dictating how long a game takes or how much money is invested. It is the executives, the higher-ups and the shareholders, and they are to blame for this failure, because no one in their right mind should say, 8 years, we're going to make a game like Overwatch, and it's going to take 8 years to make.
Yeah.
Because everyone who has any knowledge of the gaming industry knows that in those 8 years, the market will be flooded by games just like Overwatch, and people will be eventually sick and tired of it. And so when your game comes out, it either has to be one of the greatest games ever made, or it's fucking doomed from the start.
It's too late.
And again, like I said, again, we talk about Destiny. If Destiny 2 had launched now instead of when it did, it would not have survived. And this is the case. If this had launched 2-3 months after Overwatch, it probably would have been... It wouldn't have done Overwatch numbers. Never in a million years.
No.
But it probably would have done better than it did now.
It probably would have actually been a contender against Overwatch.
Yeah, because there was no competition. Now it's oversaturated, because that's the only thing the AAA game industry knows how to do. Milk a product until it's dead.
Mm-hmm. Jump on the train. And
Sony, being Sony, are always late to the bandwagon.
Yeah, they're always late to it.
They come to the bandwagon when it's on fire, and the people that were at the start of the bandwagon are hating on it.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand like companies wanting to do something different, something different, and stuff like that. But Sony, you've got a track record now of doing really good cinematic games,
single player
games, right? You've got a good track record here. Focus on that, and let your other games don't not be creative, but let your other game get those ones out the door, right? And then these ones, your Concords, don't give them 8 years and tens of millions of dollars to come to fruition. Like, this was an experiment. Concord is a first IP. You do not spend that amount of money and that amount of time on a new IP,
especially if you're gonna be making a hero shooter.
Yeah.
If you or what is when you started, what is the in thing? Because by the time in 8 years' time, what is the in thing will no longer be the in thing.
You do the thing you're known for.
Or it's already oversaturated, and hell, even like people are beginning to be really fed up with live services because live service it is this stupid fantasy of of basically thinking that everyone can have a live service and all the gamers will play all the live services, despite the fact that the very nature of a live service means that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
The Ubisoft fucking cycle of money fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
It's a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It has no relevance in factual fact because that, I mean, granted, yes, it's the fucking dream for publishers of it. Oh, instantly cycling money of players paying us constantly all the time. Yes, that'll be brilliant. It'll clearly happen. No. Players' time and money are finite.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much time players can do in a single day, and that is also taken up with eating, sleeping, and working, and family stuff.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, live services aren't aimed at normal gamers. Live services now are aimed at whales. They are only aimed at whales.
Yes,
because they only need a couple.
But the problem is that there are only so many whales.
I know this, and you know this. Right? We both know that, like, there are only one.
Why
only
would
so
a whale
many
for
whales.
Overwatch jump to Concord?
Exactly. And even then, like, eventually that whale's going to get bored and move on.
Yeah.
And they're not just going to stick around.
I know, but my point being is that they but not just money, time.
Yeah.
Those times are finite.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have a job, if you are rich enough to be lucky enough not to have a fucking job to pay the bills, you still have to eat. You still have to sleep. You still have to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't play a game 24/7. Now, granted, some people will try to do that. They end up suffering because of it.
Yes.
But
that's my point. Is like these developers and these publishers, they don't aim it at the average Joe.
yes, because they believe in this fantasy of like infinite revenue.
It's not even that. It's they don't care. As long as they get that whale.
Yes,
That's all they care about. It's not like, oh well, we think it's a fantasy. It's not that. It's not that. It is literally.
The problem is to get the whale, they need to have the population, because a whale will not go to a game which has no one playing it, because they want to show off all the money they've spent.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to have it popular to all the people.
Yeah, but you're going off the logic of the real world.
Yeah, no, but not yeah, but what I'm saying is they believe the senior executives and your Yves Goulimons believe in this fucking fantasy. Because that's all it is. It's a fantasy. They wouldn't, like, Sony wouldn't invest $100 million into a game if they didn't actually believe they could, that in this fucking bullshit unlimited revenue crap. This ever increasing amount of revenue. Like it's some fucking Cold Fusion bullshit. They don't. They have to actually believe it, because we all know the AAA game industry is run by assholes. Absolute self-interest, greedy as fuck assholes. So if they didn't think they were going to get a return on this money, they wouldn't have invested it. So they have to believe in this absolutely insane, unrealistic realm of fantasy belief that they can just release a live service and people will just spend Fortnite levels of money on it.
Yes.
And it's a fantasy because it has no realms of realism, because there's no there's no logic in it. And it's now I think we've now coming towards the tipping point, because they're investing more and more and more and more and more and more, and all of a sudden the money stopped. The money has stopped coming in. Like, there's those that have made their money and have the fan base and the user base to continue making their money, and anything else that comes out afterwards, if it's not the fucking best thing ever that's happened, it is going to die. And unfortunately, Because as I've been saying for quite a while now, the people at the top, the people who make the decisions, the people who green light and red light stuff, have no fucking clue about the market they're actually in. They won't realise it until we get more Concords now.
Yeah.
Because they're so full of their own asses, they don't. They see the sun. It does suck for the people that have spent 8 years making this game, though.
I would feel bad for them. I would. Like, this is weird, because usually I feel bad when this sort of stuff happens.
Yeah.
But there's no way no one looked at Concord during the 8 years of making it and went, this game is shit. And if they didn't, you know, you don't deserve anything.
So here's the thing. I think there probably were people that thought that, but unfortunately there wasn't enough of them that were willing to actually, that had the actual like confidence to step up, because we all know the AAA game industry is not the greatest place to work. It's not the most fantastic. It's not the inclusive. Like you can not confront, but you can raise issues with your management in regards to direction and all that sort of stuff. No, that's not the AAA game industry. The AAA game industry is getting your fucking self.
I know that. But like, if you go on to social media, you can see these developers defending Concord.
Yeah, but they're mostly management.
Maybe, but there's no defense.
No, there isn't any. You can't defend Concord. Like I said, if it come out just after Overwatch, a year or two maybe max, it might have survived, but not now. Why? And again, like I say, the people who made the decisions that led to Concord taking 8 years, which makes me think, I wonder how many times that thing got rebooted.
There's a chance. But
I wonder how much absolute awful management there's been.
I can't. Also, with the amount of times people just get called racist just because they don't like a game, I'm done. Like, I don't feel bad. You released a bad product. This is what happens.
Yeah, but like I say, I have no sympathy for the people who are in the decision making, who basically were the reason why Concord turned out the way it is. But for the people who actually like did the fucking grind, did the whole like ones and zeros, implemented X, Y, and Z because executive or manager wanted it. I feel sorry for them, because you can guarantee they didn't want to make a bad game. They didn't want Concord to die on launch.
God, that game's bad. It was so bad. It was really, really bad.
The thing is like, it's not a buggy hellhole. It's not a broken game.
No. The actual gameplay works.
Yeah. And it's not fun. It's not the foundations are not flawed like Suicide Squad. But it had such a because I think like I've said it before, I think people are really sick and tired of live services, and the fact that it was a hero shooter on top of that. Like, when they announced it was a hero shooter, you could tell any hype that game had was just snuffed out.
Yeah, it was gone.
No one cared anymore.
I think the thing is, because it was Sony, everybody was expecting Concord to be this possibly a more cinematic, possibly co-op game, the way it was looking, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we said expecting that.
We said last week.
Yeah.
But the first impression was it was like a sci-fi Payday. Yeah. Which sounds amazing. With instead of classes, it was your heroes. I mean, you know, people would still poo-poo at the hero shooter part of it, but it's still like an interesting take. And,
yeah, it's a decent spin on the hero shooter thing.
But then when they announced,
and it was just a hero shooter.
It was just a hero shooter, and I was like, oh no. They invested so much in this.
This is my thing. Like, so much money was spent on this game, and that's what they got. They came out with. Like, in any other job, do you know what it is as well? Does it feel like a game that's been designed by a committee? I don't know.
Because
like, it just looks
Again,
so
like there's
boring.
There's no like single one like design philosophy. Do you know what I mean?
It feels like instead of what it feels like is like the creative team got together and they made everything. This is like, at least with character design and level design, it feels like everybody just said yes to any idea that came along.
I know, but if that was the case, you would have at least had some like from left field. If they said yes to everything, then there would have been there probably should have been a wider spectrum of character design from.
You would think that,
but the fact is, like, everyone is so bland. It's almost like I said. It's almost like it's done by committee to appease everyone, and it's ended up in no one liking it. It's again, I do feel sorry for the people that have spent 8 years and have not had are not in the position to actually affect anything.
Yeah.
Because they are probably the people that probably recognised that, yeah, this isn't going the way it should.
Yeah.
There are warning signs here.
My main question for Concord is number one. This is to do with Firewalk. This is all Firewalk's fault. This whole thing. They were the ones that made the game. They were the ones in charge of everything.
Sony greenlit it.
Sony greenlit it, but at the end of the day, Sony greenlight fucking what was that other one? Babylon's Fall. Sony greenlit that.
Yes, but again, as we criticise Microsoft.
No, I'm not saying Sony aren't at fault.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying there's a different fault. It's just like Redfall was Arcane Austin's fault. Microsoft's only fault was greenlighting it and not stepping in when realizing.
That's what I'm saying. It is the same.
Sony's fault is the same. So I'm saying Firewalk's fault.
Oh yeah, so Firewalk
is like the character design that is on Firewalk. The level design that is on Firewalk. The fact that it's a bland hero shooter that is on Firewalk.
Yes.
Like, you can't release a game like that, have it bomb so bad, and not expect things are gonna happen.
Yeah, and like I say, I totally get that.
You can't spend that amount of money
and
that amount of time,
yeah,
and then release that.
No.
In any other job,
no,
you would be fired instantly.
But again, the problem isn't. Well, the problem is that the fact that the people responsible for this,
are
still going to be in the position they are, because there's probably going to be layoffs.
Yeah,
because of the amount of money that was.
Oh yeah.
Given. And the people that were responsible for this...
The people who are going to lose their jobs are not the people who deserve to lose their jobs.
And I feel sorry for the people that probably are going to lose their jobs.
I understand that. And I do feel bad for them. Because, nobody wants to lose their job, and I don't want people to lose their jobs. It fucking sucks. I know that firsthand. I've lost my train of thought. Because you bloody interrupted me.
You were blaming Firewalk.
Yeah, Firewalk's decision making and all
yes.
this. You know what? Actually,
the company is at fault. Yes.
The other thing, about you saying about it made by committee, it generally feels like nobody. That could be the problem, but the other thing is like it doesn't feel like anybody actually looked at the market while they were making this game.
No.
And thinking, maybe we shouldn't make a hero shooter, or at least maybe we should spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't put their own stamp on it.
Like, they didn't...
That's, again, like I say, it feels like it was made by a committee, because there's there's nothing in it of, like we said last week, there's nothing of their own, twist on it. There's no... Everything is by the numbers, by the book, and with no innovation. And that goes through the entire thing, from... Like you say, level design, character design, game mode design. There's no...
Everything's bland.
Yeah, there's nothing... There's nothing new. There's nothing new. There's nothing stands out and interesting that separates it from the rest. Like, Fortnite works because it has because of the way that is being set up. It's literally been set up to have Spider-Man and Optimus Prime fighting each other.
If we're going to stick with hero shooters,
Overwatch characters designs sold that game before it was even launched.
Paladins has its its horses and and
it's
like
more
the maps
mobile.
are bigger.
It's more mobile-like. Speaking of MOBAs, is it Valve with
Deadlock?
Yeah, Deadlock with its eldritch horror type, but like proper. Like you go in there treating it like a MOBA, and it will work because that's primarily what it is. It's a hero shooter MOBA. And that hasn't even launched yet. It's not even out of alpha.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is alpha footage and alpha gameplay. Like
Marvel Rivals, which is coming out soon.
Marvel Rivals has the Marvel license with all the characters that has an inbuilt fan base.
And which actually looks like it's going to have, at least some areas are going to have destructible scenery.
Yeah.
But
what did Concord have?
It had a walking fridge with a suck and blow machine.
Actually, it's a trash compactor. It's a fucking walking dustbin.
I was just being generous calling him the fridge.
I know.
I felt like we've kicked on Concord a fair bit. I know,
but
nice.
the thing is, that was actually in the game. Like, it's either dustbin, trash can, or something like that. Like, that's the actual designation. I'm like, you just don't.
You've literally put trash.
You could have literally called him fridge. Should have called him fridge. Here's an idea.
You literally put trash in your game.
Here's another idea, right? Because he blows it, you could have called him turbine.
Yeah.
Like, even the names are just bland and unimaginative. And my turbine's not exactly imaginative. I've just gone, well, he blows and sucks with air. So, that's what a turbine does, technically.
Yeah. Well, that's Concord for you. It's gone.
Again, I feel sorry for the vast majority of underlings that spent 8 years on it, because no one who actually physically makes the game wants it to be bad. But there's only so much like the lower rungs of a AAA game industry can actually do to affect
possibly
decision makers.
It's possibly.
Oh, especially in certain companies. Activision Blizzard before the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
For example.
No, what I'm on about here is like, because we don't know what's gone on behind the scenes of Concord.
Somehow I think that we will find out.
Maybe, yeah, we probably will, but at the moment we don't, so we can't just assume. That's why I'm like a little bit on the fence when it comes to actual developers.
Put it this way, right? If we get the same sort of story as we got from Redfall,
it wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it would not surprise me at all.
Because the AAA game industry never learns.
Okay. So, shall we move on to good news?
Yes.
Good news. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 has come out.
Yes,
and it is amazing.
Glorious. The Emperor is proud.
It is so goddamn good. Put it this way, it's that good, I like it. I don't like Space Marines.
No, even better. You don't like the Ultramarines.
I don't like Space Marines.
I know.
Like, at all. Any of them.
And you like this game.
And I like this game.
Me, as a bona fide Salamander lover, my boys, they're great. The Space Marines, and it's like it did exactly what the first game did. Made you feel as powerful as a Space Marine. It's like, yes, I am so powerful that I am literally not classed as human.
I am the very definition of a one-man army.
Yes. Like, Space Marines are so heavily modified and enhanced biologically and physically that they are no longer classed as human. That's how fucking amazing they are. And Space Marine 2 has took everything from Space Marine 1 and improved on it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's mwah.
My boys, the Tyranids look amazing as well. The detail on the design,
the
so good.
They've one. You can tell people who've worked on this either love 40k and know their shit, or love the art love the craft so much that they took time to learn and implement what they learned in the game. And that's a good thing. It's a very good thing, because like I keep saying, when you get a license for a certain thing, stay true to the source material, because the very first people that are going to buy that product or go see that movie are the people who are fans of the very fucking license you've paid a lot of money for.
So, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is one of the biggest games of the year after it breaks its own Steam concurrent record. So basically, when it came for the pre-release, it got
everyone on their dog playing it.
Yeah, it got like I think it was max was like 135,000.
Yeah,
I think. Let's have a look. It's got the numbers. Yeah. So over the weekend, just before release,
early access, which I do not enjoy. Actually, like people who played Star Wars Outlaws will attest. The people who bought early access.
I don't mind.
The thing is, if you are selling a game, even if they claim it's early access, you are basically purchasing a game from that date, and you're paying extra money for it, and for you to then get a worse experience than the people who buy it on launch is wrong. I argue that you shouldn't be buying early access anyway, because it gives the AAA game industry another fucking thing to increase the price on.
I am fine with early access. I'm fine with early access with certain things.
Early access as in to help finance and also have feedback from players on the game and what works and what doesn't is acceptable. Baldur's Gate 3 is as good as it was because of that. Because Hades as well. Hades 2. They are what game did I buy? I think the original Kerbal Space Program. They helped the development and they allowed the game to be finished completely, and they took feedback and worked on and actioned on that feedback. The problem is the AAA game industry.
Oh, I know.
Because that early access is just basically, we'll give them the busted review,
the buggy version,
the busted review code we give to all the journalists, and then if you're Ubisoft, we'll then release the game and tell them they have to start again,
start all over again. I'm okay with early access. Even in the stance of like Space Marines was, where it was only a couple of days before release, I'm okay with that. But, and this is a bit of a big but, mainly because number one, you could look at it as like another beta test for online, because you can get the amount of times they've done beta tests for games, and then the official release comes out, and they haven't got enough fucking servers, and the game fucking breaks, dies, right?
My counter to that, sorry for interrupting, but my counter to that is a 3-day early access gives no one any time whatsoever to fix any problems.
I know that, but I'm going all the way around. I'm not just saying free, only the 3-day one for the online thing. I understand that there's going to take them longer than 3 days to get servers, right? I'm just like spitballing. Just let me spitball.
Yes, I'll let you spitball. Go on.
Right. The other thing is, Space Marine 2 number 1 is a AA. It's not AAA. It is not. Saber Interactive are not a AAA publisher.
Yes, I would agree with that. Their budgets
which
are
means
not
as high. So it means, a lot of these companies are going to have to kind of do something to get that extra dosh in, especially when they've got games that they know are going to sell well with the hype of Space Marine 2.
In their defense, in Space Marine 2's defense, it is the only thing I'm really upset about in regards to because we all know why they do it. It's not to test the game.
It's to get more money.
It's just basically to get more money.
Yeah.
And it actually serves no purpose except to grift people out of more money. Because they basically prey on people's impatience.
But to be fair, that's what got me.
Yes, I know.
I just couldn't be bothered waiting anymore. I was just like, oh, no, I've got the money, I'll buy it.
Well, I bought the standard edition, but I did pre-order because I went on Amazon.
Yeah.
So.
And no, I wanted to.
But
you can't.
We are from a generation that we pre-ordered because it was the only way to guarantee to get the product.
Yeah.
That was what pre-orders were, big guys, before the days of Amazon.
Oh, fucking Metal Gear! Do you remember when Metal Gear 2 came out?
Yes.
Like, if you did not pre-order that game, you
weren't
were not getting it.
You weren't getting it for at least like a month or something like that. I remember, like, we had to pre-order. I think it was Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah.
WWE SmackDown.
Yeah, we had to pre-order that.
Pre-order that. Every Final Fantasy.
Every Final Fantasy
on the PS, like, so Final Fantasy 8, you had to pre-order.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you weren't going to get it.
Yeah.
9, same. 10 same.
Definitely same, because that was that they massively pushed.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2, yeah.
You had to pre-order that, and when we're talking about pre-ordering, we are on about
actually
going to the
store,
going to the counter and going, I would like to pre-order this game, please.
Yeah.
And then they would bring out a book.
Yeah.
Yes, we're old. We are old, internet. You don't need to rub it in.
We live in the we come from the olden days.
Yes, we
when you have to go on a quest to get a video game.
Called getting a bus. Now
you have to get on a goddamn bus now. In America, I don't know what it's like in America or around the world, but I can tell you right now, in Britain, getting on a bus is a very unpleasant experience.
Yes,
it's not the best thing.
It is a roll of the dice.
Am I going to get to my destination today? I have no idea.
Is the bus going to just randomly break down?
Is it going to even show up?
Yeah. Or is it going to, in the middle of the stotting rain, just drive past me empty?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy it's doing well.
I understand people not being happy about the early release. Like, I understand that. But in my opinion, I would rather have an early release. I'd rather companies do that. Early release a game, charge you a little bit extra. Maybe not the amount that like Space Marine has, because I think Space Marine charge you an extra £30.
Yeah,
for the early
release. That's the thing, right? That's the standard.
But I don't mind the early access if like it's, I don't know, say a tenner. Yeah, give us an extra tenner and you can play the game 3 days early. Okay, fine. But as long as it's not Star Wars Outlaws levels of like paying an extra nearly £100,
double the price
of the actual game, and then you get told on full release,
after 20 hours,
everything that you've played,
after putting 20 hours into it,
everything that you've played, you've got to have to just wipe and start again. Like that. I mean,
I'm not surprised it's Ubisoft, but still,
Space Marine in my eyes gets away with it because it even on pre-release it was a full working game. I have had no bugs. I have had no problems. Oh no, I had one bug, but it was a funny bug, so I'll let it off. Basically, I went down because I'm playing on hard. So I went down, and your AI can res you. So he res me, and I teleported to my ship. And then I fell. And I was just there like. But the funny thing was, while he's falling down, he's still saying things like, "For the Emperor's might," and kill all the Xenos and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, "This is
technically, there's a lot of bugs in
there are a lot of bugs,
but it's our job to thin those bugs."
Yeah. Also, I don't like that meme. It keeps showing up on TikTok, and I hate it.
Which one?
The Space Marine 2 has a lot of bugs. I can't recommend it because of all these bugs in this game. Shut up.
That's yeah.
Shut up. It's not funny.
No.
It's not funny.
I mean, I said it for jokes, but it's like, that's the one time.
Yeah.
Everything on the internet gets done to death, and it's really like, don't do it. Anyway,
especially on TikTok, because like one person will do it, and
then
everybody else will jump on the van. It's just like, oh my god. But yes, so it reached back to the concurrent players. It started off with the pre-release of 135,000, and it's broken it and managed to get to 225.
Yeah, so not only every man and their dog is playing it, every man, woman, and child, and their dogs and cats are playing it.
Like citizens of the Imperium should.
Yes.
This has got to be running. This game has to be running for Game of the Year.
Yes.
It has to.
Yes.
This year's Game of the Year is going to be good. Like, I generally think that.
Well, we've got this.
We've got Black Myth Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong, this.
I don't know if they're going to put Shadow of the Erd Tree.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't because it's DLC.
Yeah.
But they put they put Cyberpunk into sections where they shouldn't have.
You know what it'll be?
Yeah.
They'll put well, you know what Cyberpunk one, which is like the ongoing game.
Yeah.
They'll put it there. They'll put it there so it'll win.
Yeah.
At least we know what's winning the whatever the class is. But yeah, Space Marine 2 is doing really well.
It's doing
fantastic.
It's really good.
It is
the
a single player campaign game.
The multiplayer is actually okay. It's got some tweaks that I think it needs to sort out. But they have announced that they're going to be constantly updating the game anyway. So I'm assuming, hopefully, they'll
I've actually found that like the co-op campaign, the missions take place during the same time frame as the single player campaign as well, which is like a really apparently some of the stuff you get told in the single player campaign is stuff that's actually happening in the multiplayer co-op campaign, and I'm like, do you know what? That's a fucking cool thing. That's great, wonderful.
What I want to know. Pardon me, because so at the very beginning of the game, Titus wakes up. Spoilers. Titus wakes up. I'm sorry if you don't know your Titus in this game.
Yeah, we all know we're Titus.
Titus wakes up. I want to know people the amount of players who know exactly what a Primaris Space Marine is.
Oh yeah, because he's
been turned into a Primaris now.
Yeah,
which means he's like 3 foot taller than the firstborns. So he's even bigger now.
Yeah, he's basically the average salamander. Normal.
Yeah, which means, right, if you think about it, a salamander who is they're usually 10 foot tall.
Yeah, they're usually around about 2 foot taller than the average Space Marine.
An average Space Marine was about 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
So they are about 10 foot tall. Now, an average salamander is now going to be 13 foot tall.
That's a big
They are going to be around about the same size as Vulcan.
Yes.
Because Vulcan's about 15 foot.
Yes. Vulcan is a big boy.
He is a big slab of meat.
Yes. He's chonky. But also a big huggy bear.
He's a big huggable person.
Yes.
Unless you're a Xenos, in which case he will melt you.
Yes, but that's what all Xenos deserves.
Not the Necrons. The Necrons are too good. The Necrons are amazing, my friend. I love the Necrons.
I mean, they still are. They are a Xenos race, and therefore.
Yes, but I generally you have to you have to give Games Workshop credit for creating a faction that is unbelievably powerful and evil and all that, and also making them the funniest thing to ever exist.
Yes, and also the only reason why they don't dominate everything is one, because they got their asses. Well, they are still recovering.
They're still waking up.
They are still. You know what I'm saying? They're still recovering from the war in heaven. Look it up, everyone.
They're still waking up. Not all our teammates are.
And also, they are extremely petty to each other,
which is amazing. It is the most. It is the best sort of
law
explanation of why a faction hasn't just bodied everybody else.
It is literally the thing. The thing is, the Necrons are kind of almost like there's chaos in the fact that the four gods combined in chaos are probably unstoppable. You wouldn't be able to stop them if they all combined and fought as one. There is no stopping chaos at all. It is done. You might as well just kill it. Just basically throw yourself in a vat of acid, because it's going to be a better outcome. But they won't, because each one of them cannot stand any of the other three getting the upper hand. So therefore, they will always stab each other in the back. Apart from Khorne. Khorne will come to your face and go, "I'm now going to beat you.
Yeah, I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
I'm going to turn on you now and beat you up. Why? Because you are getting better than me, and that can't be happened. That can't be allowed." And the Necrons are the same.
In a sense.
In a sense that but for different reasons. Instead of wanting to be the only one on top, it's just extreme pettiness due to the fact that like they just don't want to be under anyone else.
Yeah.
And they'll especially focus on one person.
You said something 5 million years ago.
I will take that.
So now I'm going to take that.
I'm now going to have my revenge on that. The only person that could probably unite everyone is the Silent King. And even then, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of Necron lords that are literally going, this is the fucking asshole that got us in this situation.
Yeah.
Why would I do anything he tells me?
I love the Necrons. They are just the Necrons and the Tyranids are the best thing in Warhammer 40k. I deny anybody to turn around and say anything else.
And the Tyranids are probably the most nice. Well, not they're the least evil.
Yeah, they're just noms.
Yeah, they're just hungry. They're just angry. They're just hungry. Hungry bugs.
They're just hungry
all
boys.
All they want to do is nom.
Yeah, all they want to do is eat.
Yeah. All they're doing,
wrong with that.
They are literally. I mean, granted, they're based off the xenomorphs and stuff, but they literally want. All they want to do is nom, so that they can grow and get bigger, and the hive can get stronger for survival. That's all they want. And of course, as true sons
of the Emperor,
as true sons of the Primarch Gleeman, we will burn every single one of them.
I can't wait till I get my hands on the PvE and I get to customise my Space Marine, because we are the Death Watch.
Yes.
Which means you get to be from any legion.
Yes.
Which is that's how it's canon.
Have all the different
have all the different chapters in the
movie.
It's because the Death Watch is literally all.
Yeah, it's basically I can't remember what the reason is, but they're
usually the Space Marines who have been excommunicated from that chapter for a certain reason.
For a reason of some sort.
Yeah, like they've done something to dishonour the chapter or whatever, and they get kicked out and they go to the Death Watch.
Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played Space Marine 1, is technically hinted at the end of Space Marine 1, because Titus is basically reprimanded for the actions he did.
Right.
He went against the Codex per se.
And
also there's a whole bunch of chaos mumbo jumbo going on.
Yeah, that. Well, I think there's like a comic that's set in between 1 and 2.
But I'm saying is like it's hinted at that is his fate.
Yeah, it's basically the dude from Bolt Gun. He kind of grasses Titus in for being immune to the warp, which is a bit weird. So the Inquisition comes along, and the Inquisition don't really like weird. They're not fond of things that are weird.
I mean, the Inquisition's what's the word? It's like a phrase that is known for them. Yeah, that saying is innocence proves nothing.
So because of that, Titus gets taken away, and basically he gets put on, with ginormous air quotes here, trial. And they can't find anything actually wrong with him, but obviously they've already excommunicated him, so they have to put him somewhere, so they put him in the Death Watch.
Yes.
With everybody else who gets
for anyone who doesn't know what the Death Watch are, the Death Watch are basically...
They're Xenos hunters.
Yes, but also they are sent to do things that they are not expected to come back from.
No.
They are...
Warhammer, I think Space Marine Suicide Squad.
Yes, or Space Marines Saving Private Ryan, but without the saving.
Yeah. You got to show up.
You've got we are sending you 5 Death Guard, Death Watch. You 5 Death Watch Space Marines. We are sending you onto this infested Xenos purging planet, full of Tyranids, and you are going to have to get this one item out of there. And we don't care if none of you get out, as long as the one item gets
as long as that thing gets out, we're happy. But anyway, good luck. 2 thumbs up, right?
Right. Also, if we don't hear back from you in about 15 minutes, the planet's going to be exterminatus.
Yeah, which is why we really need that item.
Yeah. That's happening anyway in 15 minutes. Like, we're just going to let you know that's happening.
Because, like, if we can't have that item, no one else can have that item.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Space Marine 2 is very good.
Space Marine 2 is very, very good. It's so much fun.
And I do like the fact that, again, it's like bringing people in to them to introduce them to 40k universe.
It's a good lore.
Yeah.
It's good lore.
And again, the 40k universe is based on basically everyone's a bad guy.
Pretty much.
Pretty much everyone's a bad guy. You know?
In their own special way.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Apart from Commander Farsight. He is a good boy.
Yes. But again, like the factions themselves, everyone is a bad guy. Like Farsight is a good boy, but again, because of the situation he's in, he's an authoritarian. It's like anyone standing up against him.
No,
he has. I know. Farsight's position is isn't exactly like it is potentially tenuous. He can stand on his own, but if anyone inside
it's not a like, oh, if somebody commits a coup against him, he's going to murder everyone.
No, it's not. That's not what I mean. That's not what I meant. What I mean is like he can't allow dissension get to a certain point because he's only got a finite resource, and also people may start questioning why he's still alive.
Yeah,
because he's like 3 times the average Tau life expectancy.
Yes, he is. Oh, well, apart from Ethereals. Ethereals live for.
Yes, I know, but Ethereals are mind controlling everyone else. So.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. But no, Commander Farsight is a good boy, and I would refuse anything else. Number one, you've got no proof. There is nowhere in the lore where Farsight has ever actually done this.
True.
So you can't say that.
I'm just saying, like, if you actually think logically about his position.
You're talking about a universe in which orcs can just think something and it happens.
That is very true. The orcs could be the reason why he's still alive.
It could be.
Because I'm pretty sure it's lore that he has been fighting orcs for quite a while.
Yeah.
And if the orcs have fun fighting him...
Yeah, the reason why the Tau Empire haven't just, like, knocked Farsight out is because his faction are dealing with the orcs. Yeah,
that's one. Yeah, so again, like, by the way, the orcs. Anyone who does not know, I mean, there's plenty of other videos that do this better, but the orcs have the power of imagination. If they believe something strong enough, it is true.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hence the reason why Carrack, Commissar Carrack.
Yeah.
Right, Commissar Carrack started to have a claw the size of his body.
Yeah.
Why his eye can now could shoot laser beams.
Yeah.
Because the orcs built him up so much because he was fighting Ghazghkull Thraka for so long.
Yeah.
I love the orcs. The orcs are great.
The orcs are great.
The orcs
are amazing.
The orcs are fucking amazing. But anyway, like I said, it's.
Yeah, we went into law there. We're into law there.
It's good that people are getting introduced to the 40k setting, and
it gets you hyped for the TV series or the movie or whatever's happening.
It does. I
know if you look on YouTube, because I see this a lot, it's up in the air. Basically, there's like 2 sides, and they're both extreme. There's one side that's where you're like, oh yeah, everything's rainbows and sunshines. I'm like, well, that's a little bit too happy for my liking. And then there's the other side that's like, oh, the shows, it's never going to happen. But there's not.
Cavill's
having a nightmare of time.
He's threatening to walk out, and
I'm like, okay, that's just going a little bit too far.
So the thing is like, in regards to this, it's like, I think the truth is probably the middle ground, because Cavill is probably having to discuss 40k lore and why things have to be a certain way with people who have not a fucking clue and think, oh yeah, we can just do what Halo did. That's what we can do, can't we? We can have Halo. We can have a Space Marine captain have a relationship with a Xenos, and I'm like,
no,
no,
you can't. You don't understand.
You don't understand.
That is the very literal thing you cannot do.
That is literal. Like, if that ever happened, the first thing would, like, before they even got close to the bedroom, not even the bed, not even taking clothes off or anything, right? The Inquisition would show up.
Well, not even that. Wouldn't
like
even
the Xenos hunters would show up.
It would be the The assassins. They were just
what was it? Ordo, because there's the Ordo. I can't remember. I can't call them. You have the demon hunters, the witch hunters, and the Xenos hunters.
Yeah, just in
demons, cults, and
in game now, in the tabletop game now, they are just the Inquisition.
Yeah,
they're not the demon hunters and the witch hunters. They're all one faction. It's just the Inquisition.
Yeah, but there's 3 sides to the Inquisition, and each one's focused on certain. But basically, the ones that go up,
Assassinotum or something like that.
No, the Assassinotum is its own thing. They just work for the Inquisition.
Oh, okay.
Because there's four houses in the Assassinorum. Anyway, but like I say, like the Xenos hunters would just show up before because the Inquisition is the most powerful thing in the world. It's like this is the thing whenever anyone goes on, oh, there should be female space marines. I'm like, no. The people that, especially executives that come out with that sort of stuff, haven't got a fucking clue, because the most powerful people in the universe are the fucking Inquisitors. They're the only people that can go, yeah, I want to kill this planet.
Let's just bomb it.
And can.
Yeah, they could just go, I know I'm supposed to investigate this
but
place.
I'm bored, and also it's too much effort.
It might possibly have
one
cultist
I deem that this planet is not worth the time and effort needed to retake it. Yes. And therefore I will sign the death warrant for the entire planet. But yeah, I think it's more in the middle in regards to the whole.
Oh yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is like if people
he's having to explain to the thing is like unlike The Witcher, where Cavill was pretty open that he was having problems. He's not being as like openly criticizing scriptwriters or anything. So if there is any issues, I think it's more along the lines of telling people that
possibly
that certain things won't work, and this is why. And just
I think it's
not a solidifying lines and we have to have it like this, and he's been it might be more of a thing of people who don't understand the law coming up with an idea but being open to being told well, it kind of doesn't work and this is why. Which, at the beginning of things, because it's insane to think everyone is open and understanding of the 40k law by just being told it. It's like you don't understand. Like there's
18 factions with a ridiculous amount of law to begin with.
There was a minimum of 18 factions.
Yes. Oh, I'm just going off broad strokes,
right? And that's before we get into just the Imperium of Man.
Yep.
Which has, it's like we said, the Ecclesiarchy.
Well, no,
and the Space Marines.
That's not even actually just to go with that. That's not even going into just the Space Marines.
Yeah,
because you've got the different factions in the Space Marines, and then the different factions in those different factions.
You have the founding chapters, and then you have the successors chapters, like the Crimson Fists, the Black Templars.
Yeah, the Sharkarkadons?
Yeah.
The really big shark.
The really big shark boys. The shark boys. Do you know what? If it does take off and it does well, right? I want a series of those guys. And it's basically just Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
It is basically just Monster of the Week of them going out and just murdering something.
Yeah.
Because those guys, oh boy, if you read the lore on those, they are.
But yeah, I'm with you. Probably somewhere in the middle. It's just I'm just saying, if you look online, it is literally.
Unfortunately,
one side or the other.
Twitter and YouTube, it's
media as well.
Media as a whole. It is literally you have to be the extreme, otherwise.
Yeah.
No one will if you are not the extremes, either one, you're not noticed, or two, you get beat up from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's fucking tiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the YouTube headlines of Amazon in chaos and blah, blah. I'm like, fuck off with your hyperbolic bullshit, and you know who you are.
The thing is, it's like even if you think about it for like 2 seconds, like most likely they're still only at the drawing board. That's if they are making something.
Yeah.
Right?
They've probably got 25 different... and again, this is the thing, that's like the start... Where do you start?
Exactly.
Do you start with the Horus Heresy?
I wouldn't.
Which... The Horus Heresy kind of assumes you know of a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Like,
I would.
Do you do a movie? Do you do a scene? I would. But also, certain factions aren't suited for a series, and some factions aren't suited for a movie.
You couldn't...
The Inquisition is perfect fodder for a series.
Yeah. Hell, even...
But Space Marines, that is your blockbuster war action movie.
Yeah. I would say movie-wise, I'd probably do the Horus Heresy. See how many movies I could get out of that.
I would have probably introduced the major players first. So have a Space Marine movie. Probably have the enemy be the orcs or something, because the orcs are very easily to explain. Yeah. You know, the big green stompy boys. They come out. They come out for a clomping.
You could start with Armageddon. The Imperial Guard.
That's what I'm saying. You could set it on Armageddon, have it as a Space Marine faction. You probably have the Salamanders so that they protect the humans.
Yeah,
because quite a lot of the Space Marines don't do that.
Yeah.
And obviously orcs, like I say, very easy to explain why they're the enemy. They're here. They're orcs. They just come and fight, and they just come and fight. They want to fight and come and clumping. That's what they want to do, and they bring more Daka.
Yeah.
Orcs are the most, and they're mushroom boys, and that's why they are still here, and they're just an absolute impossible.
Yeah, they're the endless horde.
Yeah, they are the endless horde. That's your first movie. You use the Inquisition to introduce chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So because that gives you more time to explain chaos.
I would do an Eisenhorn.
Yes!
Series. I would do an Eisenhorn series.
Yes.
And have that introduce chaos, because Eisenhorn deals with a lot of chaos.
Yeah. And then you do a whole bunch of other things, like I would introduce the major players first. So like explain space, something to explain Space Marines, something to explain chaos, and give the basic background of why the universe is the way it is at the moment. Yeah. Like, why is there a 3,000-year-old dead guy on a
giant golden throne
being fed 2,000 psychers a day, just so that we can travel the stars? You know, why is that? Why are some Space Marines all smooth and shiny, and why are other Space Marines big, spiky, scary dudes that look like they've come out of blooming an eldritch horror novel? Right? Get the basics in place, and then do the Horus Heresy. Because then you don't have to Then you can explain Horus's story without having to then also explain everything else. Like, why are these green things that Horus is fighting? What's their thing? And it's like, no, they're orcs. You've been introduced to them before. They haven't changed. What is this weird ethereal thing that's talking to Horus? Well, that's chaos. That's a chaos demon. You've already been introduced to those things.
And that guy there, that's Erebus. Fuck Erebus.
Yeah.
But yeah, Space Marine 2, sorry, that was a long tangent. Space Marine 2 is very, very, very good. I need to stop talking about Warhammer, because we go on
tangents.
Massive tangents.
But the thing is, like it is hard to explain how vast the lore of Warhammer is.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the War in Heaven. We haven't actually gone into what the War in Heaven actually could involved. Like the genocide of a species.
Of multiple species.
Multiple species, yeah. And a whole bunch of other stuff. And the creation of the Necrons. But anyway, we're digressing. Space Marine 2 is...
It's fantastic. It's a Game of the Year contender.
Easily.
And
are we moving on to one Game of the Year contender
to another one that has just come out?
And in complete opposite to Concord. With probably not even half the budget and half
half the team,
half the
all
time. We have Astrobot.
Astrobot's come out, and it
is an
really
adorable.
Well. It's fantastic.
It's an adorable mascot platformer.
Yeah, which we haven't had in a long time. Honestly, it is generally a breath of fresh air, that game. Like, if you ever played the Playroom,
yeah,
it's literally just more of that.
Yeah.
But a much more fleshed out.
So anyone that got the PlayStation 5, you got a
free little game.
Basically a tech demo game
of
what the pad can do and what the graphics potentially could do and all that, and like showed off how fast everything loads and all that, how shiny it is. The usual thing. And it's Astropot's bot Playroom. And it is an adorable. I'd recommend anyone to play it if they have access to it and they haven't played it. It's an adorable game. And they have accidentally created one of the cutest and adorable mascots.
PlayStation finally actually has a mascot.
Yes. A proper one.
A proper mascot for the PlayStation. Astrobot is fantastic. He's just this cute little robot thing,
full of emotion, full of character as well. I don't know how they've got his character.
They watched WALL-E.
Yeah, that's probably.
They watched WALL-E and went, Eve shows a lot of like emotion by just showing her eyes.
Yes,
we can do that.
But it's almost like they've combined Eve's eyes with WALL-E's like mannerisms. You know what I mean? And Astrobot's great. He's fantastic.
Yeah. This game has come out, and I wasn't expecting this to do as well as it actually has.
I thought it was going to be the current climate for platformers, 3D platformers was, which is basically like, it'll do well. It's got its own niche. No, this game has been fantastic.
Yeah, everybody's loving it. There's tons of decent reviews out there for it.
People are saying it's a potential
contender for Game of the Year, which I can see it. The amount of bloody nods to other games that aren't just Sony is
there's Ryu and Ken, but also like specific nods to certain things with those. Like the Ryu and Ken do the fist bump. That's in Alpha 3. Cool. There's Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield, and Leon S. Kennedy.
Yeah.
All with little nods to like different parts of Resident Evil. Is it Claire has like the keys, the different keys, like parts. It's just so well put together.
The way that they've brought in the characters like the Kratos bot. That is just adorable. The
Old Man Kratos
Astrobot is adorable to look at. It's just Astrobot with a fucking beard. The Crash Bandicoot that's in there,
yes,
where it's actually just an Astrobot with a mascot head on.
Yeah.
Spyro being in there as well. Spyro's there.
I would not be surprised, and Sony, you can take and run with this if you want. I would not be surprised if you can buy plushy Astrobots at some point.
Yeah, I think.
And they may not have like the Ryu and the Ken, but they'll have like
at least the Sony
stuff,
ones,
like so Yahiachi and Kazuya. And
well, that's not Sony.
That's Bandai. It's not. That's Bandai.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So Kratos,
Bloodborne.
Drake, the Hunter, from Bloodborne, Demon Souls.
Yeah,
he's
the Demon
in there.
Soul Knight.
The Demon Soul Knight's in there. Which he's actually quite funny because his animation is he dies and comes back up.
But if it was just for if it was just a bunch of nods to like classic games and classic characters, it wouldn't be as popular as it is now. It is an actually fantastically well made game.
Yeah, it's a lovely little platformer. It's a 3D platformer that I haven't had in ages. The only not ages, but like I've had to play 3D platformers on my Switch because Nintendo are the only ones that are really making them.
Do you know what though? There's been a game released just recently that's very Ratchet and Clank like.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it's only on PC at the moment though.
Yeah.
Which is probably why you haven't.
Which is why I don't have it.
Because you don't. You prefer console to PC.
I'm not a PC player.
Yeah.
I don't like playing on the PC.
Yeah.
It's not.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't like having to switch everything on, and then scroll around looking for something. And then when with my console, I can just put a disc in. If I could just do that with my PC, where I could just put something in, and hey presto, my game's ready to go.
Right. So what you need to do is do what I did, which is basically make a folder that's just for all your shortcuts for your games.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do, because that's what I was not gonna have my fucking.
But that's just more work. It's more work for me to do. Well, you've got to do this, and then you've got to do that, and I'm just like,
no, it's literally one thing. It's literally
I cannot be bothered.
It is literally.
Yeah, no, I have to make a folder, then I have to move all my games into that folder.
Yes.
Right, and then if I get a load of games, then I'm doing the thing that I don't want to do of scrolling through everything to find.
What you do is you basically just what you want to have on your PC there, and that's it.
I just prefer console.
Yeah, and just maintain. You know how you maintain the hard drive?
Yeah.
Like if it gets not enough space, you have to get rid of some of the games you don't play.
Yeah.
It's literally that.
Oh, I know. I just prefer console. It's just easy.
I'm saying, like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I just prefer console. It's just easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, Astrobot. Everybody's saying that it's going to be like Game of the Year.
Definitely.
So far, let's because we're getting close now. We have had this year. We've had. I'm trying to think of the games that have come out for
Persona 3.
Persona 3. I don't think that's going to be a Game of the Year contender.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it being up there because I mean, but it's a game. It is a pretty much 1-by-1.
Yeah, recreation.
Recreation of Persona 3. So we've got Black Myth Wukong, we've got Space Marine 2, we've got Astrobot. I'm sure there's another game that came out this year that was really good. Did Final Fantasy 16 come out this year?
No, last year.
No, that was last year. Yes, that was
because we complained about the fact that the music wasn't.
Yes, we did. We did indeed.
Let's see.
I'm sure there's another game that came out. Did Zelda come out this year?
No, that was I think that was last year. It might be this year actually.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year because
it was last year.
Yeah. Have we only had 3 Game of the Years? The only other thing I can think of that's like really blown anybody away was Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah.
I can't think of any games.
I do know there's a few games that are due to come out soon that potentially could be. Game of the Year. I mean, there's the usual COD with the fact that the focus
that's not.
But I don't think
that's not going to be Game of the Year.
No.
It'll win like best FPS, but I don't think it'll win best Game of the Year.
Because I'm trying.
I mean, unless they make a massive step up.
But again, like I say, because they're focusing on there was a bit more of a focus on the single player from what's been shown. There is a possibility, and it is Treyarch who have.
I know, but like Game of the Year contender, we're talking here.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not talking like.
There is one, and I can't. I'm hitting that.
I'm gonna hit my head on the wall.
I'm going to remember the moment we stop recording.
Yeah.
And I hate myself for it.
Okay, but we've at least got 3 Game of the Year contenders at the moment.
I will be honest, like from what I know of games coming out, and by the deadline for when they announce like the nominees.
Hey, speaking of which,
if those there are not more than 3 games that's going to be Game of the Year contender.
Speaking of which, the continuous game award thing, best ongoing game, that's the one. That might be interesting this year because Elden Ring's going to win it.
Yes,
it might be interesting because you've got Elden Ring.
Yeah,
you've got Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 with the Final Shape.
We've got Diablo with the
Diablo 4 with
Spirit. Oh, Vessel of Hatred.
Vessel of Hatred.
DLC coming out.
Final Fantasy 14 had
Dawn Tale.
WoW has the War
has
Within,
the War
which
Within that's coming out.
early indications people are liking it. However, early indications of every other expansion people were liking it as well, including Warlords of Draenor.
Yes.
So
you take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, but early signs.
There's been this year. There's been quite a few like ongoing games, like DLC dropped for games.
Again, No Man's Skies had another big update.
So No Man's Sky is going to be in there,
as it is every year.
There's quite a few that like you look at that field and you go, this year's going to be pretty good for that.
Yeah, and
like I said, Elden Ring's going to win
it.
Like none of you were beating Elden Ring, but you gave it a good go. Pat on the back,
granted that we all have our same complaints as we did with Cyberpunk, because despite the fact that it is DLC, we know Elden Ring is not a forever being updated game.
Yeah.
It's not an ongoing game. This was just DLC for it.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I think we'll end it there.
Yeah, Astrobot is an adorable, great game, and everyone should buy it.
I do want it. I do really, really want it. But I've got Space Marine.
Do you know what? It does put me in mind of the Spyro games, where it's like, if you want to just run through the game and complete it, you can. But if you want to get everything...
By the way, to anybody... I mean, unless you're a speedrunner, you should not play a platformer and not go and collect things. Yeah. Especially a 3D one.
Like the whole basis is getting that 100%.
Yeah.
Or, in Spyro and Crash Bandicoot cases, 110.
Yeah, well, because you got to 100% and you got an extra level. That's why you got 100.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, we've got a good month. This month and next month we've got some good games and good add-ons coming out. We are good.
Yeah, it's one of those where I'll say to the people who are doomsayers about the gaming industries and on peripheral of collapse, I'm like, the AAA game industry possibly, because they've just basically become so bloated and greedy, and like eventually that bubble that they're living in is going to burst. However, for your smaller developers, you are getting some friggin' amazing games that aren't getting recognised. So go
out and buy Space Marine 2.
Yeah, go out and buy Space Marine 2, and go out and buy Astrobot.
If you can. You kind of need a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Although it probably will come to PC at some point, to which you'll still need a
PlayStation Network.
Because
Sony are fucking stupid. I mean, I can criticise them all I want about that decision, but you can't sum it up any more better than it is the dumbest idea they've had in a long while.
Yeah. And
that is from the company that gave us Concord.
Yeah. Anywho, I do hope you've enjoyed this chat. We went on quite a few tangents on this one, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. People should realise we do this all the time.
Yeah, but nobody watches these videos.
No, nobody watches these videos anyway.
Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.
Doodles.